Before attempting to achieve anything in life, everyone should first put these 4 qualities into practice. First, repetition, routine, habits, discipline, and 2 more. These are evident as attributes. These compounding characteristics, when you can put these qualities into practice, other areas of your life will start to develop and bloom. Your brain is made up entirely of neurons. Your routines and habits are mixed with the neurons that fire on a regular basis. Through the subconscious mind, we are practically living the same day over and over again. The worst part is that we have no idea we are doing it. Therefore, anything becomes established in your memory after being repeated several times. Together, firing neurons form connections. Getting excited for your new job is okay. But if you don't have the 4 essential qualities in place, I can assure you that it won't take long for you to start slacking off and losing ground. Have you ever seen a coworker start to veer off course at work? He was a great worker at first, but then you saw that his drive and excitement to do well began to wane. He currently associates this collection of experiences with that work. Instead of retiring to bed at a respectable hour and staying up until 2 a.m. watching his or her favorite TV show, he started to repeat certain negative behaviors that now cause him to be late for work. You may even come across a worker who isn't at all competent in his position. Then, why the devil did he apply for this job? Becomes a legitimate inquiry. Or, even worse, the health may have believed it was a good idea to assign him that position. People who are not completely optimized create outputs that are, at most, average. I am aware that it might be challenging to maintain enthusiasm in a profession or a job when it is not gratifying sometimes. On the other hand, if these characteristics are unchangeable, you may at least start to create a lifestyle you desire life. So allow me to dissect these characteristics and provide a thorough justification for each one. Repetition is the devil. The proof is in the pudding, and I'll say that until I'm blue in the face. The more often something is repeated, the more deeply established it gets in our minds. To not do that genuinely feels uncomfortable. This holds true in every aspect of life. When you finally decide to start a health kick, it will be difficult to keep it up if you continue to consume the same unhealthy meals. Why do you believe media outlets are so well liked? News, television, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, etc. It's because we've spent the vast bulk of our lives around these media. No straying. The millennial generation is in serious trouble. They essentially say these things over and over again every day. When it comes to performing significant activities, it is literally messing with their thoughts. So how can you stop doing something repeatedly after doing it for so long? It's so simple, and this is when it gets smart. These 4 characteristics are all related to one another. You need to develop a routine in order to develop positive habits, a daily regimen that you follow. You'll need discipline to stick with this practice because you won't want to begin with. After you climb the first hill of change, that routine becomes second nature. A routine that, if broken, makes you feel uncomfortable. It would undoubtedly feel odd if you didn't perform those 2 routines, much as the boring rituals and habits you repeat right now. We engage in routines on a daily basis. Everybody has one. The majority of Americans follow this usual daily wake up, shower, and shave regimen. Clean up and change for work. Work and commute to work. Lunch, work, commute, home, gym, prepare dinner, watch TV, and then go to bed. Pretty typical, yes. Let's add a little flavor to that routine. For a little bit lazier person, hit the news, then go to sleep. More. Hastily getting ready for work, travel to work. Work, the internet, work, social media, lunch, commute, home, skipping, and the gym. Take orders. After 60 days of going to bed, rinsing off, and repeating the process, you will have developed a habit that would seem unusual to break. As you can see, the 2 regimens are rather dissimilar, although many people follow the second one. It is understandable why people may grow even more careless, value nothing, put on a ton of weight, and develop a dishonest mindset in such a short period of time. This person's underperformance is the second routine. Therefore, when I ask him to do something, he replies, "I can't be bothered today." Since these are all compounding features, as I already mentioned, other aspects of your life will start to be impacted. As a result of your laziness, you won't clean your home or wash your dishes, and eventually you won't take care of yourself. It seems sense that there are more incidences of depression today. It's simple to attribute unfavorable outcomes to depression. But when certain conditions aren't met, it also starts to have an impact. Over time, it becomes even more common in those who are aware of their obligations yet fail to fulfill them. 3 habits. Excellent habits are formed over a lifetime and are simple to break. Bad behaviors are more difficult to break yet take less time. Simple reasons why. A bad habit is far simpler to form than a good one. It is simpler to get out of bed whenever you feel like it than it is to drag yourself out of bed at 6 in the morning. No matter how awful your day has been, ordering takeout is simpler than sticking to your diet. Are you following where I'm heading with this? Extreme change is never a good thing when you decide to modify any part of your life. Why? You won't be able to persevere for very long. The sudden surge of change to your routine will be too much for your mind to handle. Because of this, none of the January gym attendees stay over 2 weeks. They operate at full capacity for 2 weeks, while the remaining 351 days of the year saw zero activity. And what's this? They carried out this procedure for the previous 351 days, so you got it. Why do you think the 14 days of suffering will cause you to change? The most straightforward methods for implementing change are baby steps. You need to start by just going to the gym in order to establish a pattern of getting there. This is for those who put off tasks repeatedly. It won't be that dramatic for everyone. Even the concept of going to the gym is intimidating when you are so used to this bad habit and routine. Simply visit the gym. Don't exercise in real life. Simply visit a gym. Try a 15-minute session after doing that for a week. Next, expand on that. You will gradually build up to the schedule where you go to the gym 5 times a week for 60 minutes each time, or whatever your objective is. You do track your progress on paper, right? I went to the gym this many times for this long the following week, so I'll step it up and go for an additional 15 minutes. This won't happen 9 times out of 10, and you'll end up getting a full exercise in. You may practically apply this strategy to any part of your life. But what about all those individuals who go bonkers, drop like 5 stone, and transform their lives? They didn't take it slowly. Instead, they went in full force. Well, I'm sure someone has mentioned somewhere that if they don't get in shape and lose weight soon, they'll be in a pine box. There is no greater motivation 6 feet underground than dread and death. This is the tough part for discipline, I assure you. The most significant is certainly discipline. Believe me, there will be days when you don't fucking feel like exercising. Even if you've been going to the gym for 5 years or regularly rising at 6 in the morning. And discipline comes into play here. Knowing what is correct and doing it despite your feelings is discipline. So you'll drag your lazy ass out of bed when the alarm goes off, and it feels much simpler to push the snooze button than to get out of bed. Regard. Well, what about motivation, you could ask. I'll let you in on a little secret. Motivation is just nonsense. I'll use an illustration. Have you ever viewed a YouTube motivating video? You are very riled up by that crap, listening to motivational sayings from Jocko Willink, Will Smith, and Joe Rogan. After feeling fired up and prepared to take on the world, you wake up the next morning and fall back into your old habits. Sounds recognizable? That is due to the myth of motivation. Essentially, it is a feeling. Right now, you're feeling enthusiastic and thrilled. Does not imply that it will last, which it does not. Because of this, discipline is incredibly effective. It is the mind's kryptonite. You essentially refute what your mind is telling and proceed anyhow. So how can you introduce discipline into your life if you're a lazy piece of SHT? Since you just read everything above this section, I believe you already know the solution. Routines, repetition, and habits. You will learn self-discipline when you start forming routines that you repeat every day, no matter how you feel. Your mind will scream all kinds of garbage at you as you start to redefine who you are and start to change. You are insufficient. You'll fall short. Look, no one ever read the blog article you published. These voices will eventually start to disappear. The mind will start to accept the new habit more readily the more you repeat the ones you wish to adopt into your daily routine. Remember that you need to establish a schedule that you follow every day if you want to develop positive habits. You'll need discipline to stick with this practice because you won't want to begin with. After you climb the first hill of change, that routine becomes second nature. A routine that, if broken, makes you feel uncomfortable. Similar to these creepy rituals that you repeat out of habit. Now, if you didn't do them, it would feel weird. Do them.